Tuning in alone Sunday, all the tea getting spilled. Nail text, talking game, keeping it real, y'all gon' feel. From designs to the drama, every secret they reveal. Stay sharp, stay tuned, man, you know it's the deal.
Hi guys, and welcome back to Neil on Sunday podcast with me, Chris, my beautiful wife, who is, I like this little hair thing you've got going on today, the little side ponytail. You look like you could actually ride a horse, like maybe my girl. Yep. Hi, darling.
Hi.
How are you?
Cold.
Yep. Your magic heating didn't work, did it?
No, because I think Laura flicked the actual switch on the radiator, which means that it couldn't tell it to turn on.
Welcome back to the Neil on Sunday podcast where we moan all day. But let me just get started. Today we're going to be talking about events. So Chris is going to be moaning because I hate events, but a lot of you guys like to attend events.
And we're going to tell you why you should attend events. And there's lots of different types of events.
Or why you shouldn't. You know what I mean? Because we've got to have two sides of the coin, got to flip the switch. Talking about flipping switches, if anyone has listened to podcasts recently, you'll know there seems to be a little bit of a change with our microphones. I'm not 100% sure what it is. I can't work it out. I've updated the software twice. I think maybe that's...
Every time Chris updates software on something, it messes everything up.
That's what seems to be the problem. But I'm looking at levels today and looks like I'm shouting into the microphone. So if I am, it's only because I want you guys to hear me loud and clear. Honey, what have you been up to the past week?
We've been up to quite a lot, haven't we?
We've been to an event.
We have. Have we done one of these since we've been to country?
No.
Oh, wow, okay. We've had a lot going on. Do you know what? There's just so much going on. I find it really, really stressful and really overwhelming. And I'm like,
Imagine there wasn't anything going on.
That'd be great.
Really?
Peaceful for my mind for a little bit.
No.
There's too much going on right now. So we went to country in London a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
And then last weekend we were in Italy for work. And it's perfect because we were at an event.
A trade show.
A trade show, which is an event. And it was really great, wasn't it?
It was somewhat overwhelming. I've never been to any sort of event in any capacity quite as big as that.
If you imagine like Pro Beauty North or Excel, what do they call it now?
I think it's probably at London now. At the XL.
Whatever it is. Imagine that, but genuinely.
Times 10.
No, way more than that.
You think so? Oh God, I thought I was being optimistic there.
No, way more than that. Because there was more than 10 halls.
I guess that's very true, actually.
And the halls were more filled with more stuff. So probably like times 25, maybe more. Because there was the lowest number I remember seeing was 14. And the highest was 39.
Yeah.
That's 25 halls.
There must have been at least, I'd say, 250,000 people there.
It was just so much. It's so much. And it was everything from packaging, like literally like packaging manufacturers, bottle filling machines, labeling machines that can make the stuff, to companies that make gel and
hair, beauty, skin.
And then to consumer stuff as well. So the type of things that you would see at like Pro Beauty and things like that as well. Yeah. So literally every single element of the supply chain.
And it's funny that you imagine walking about in all those different halls, seeing all those different people and everything else. You wouldn't bump into people you meet, but we did.
But bump into people you meet?
Yeah. Well, you bump into people you know.
We did.
People from the same industry.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it's funny.
Sadie from Novovi, if you listen, hi. It was nice to meet you.
Yes. And Rebecca should really do better at actually introducing who people who are, because I'm not on the nail order social media, so I don't see faces. I hear brands, I know who people are maybe, but I don't know faces. So I'm just standing there like a lemon, caffeine kicking in. I'll tell you about the caffeine in a second.
Oh God. And
just trying to hold a conversation, like, yeah. And I don't really know these people. But then as soon as you walk away, Rebecca's like, yeah, that's such and such from there. And I'm like, oh, right, if I'd known that, I'd probably been back in, I could have maybe had a deeper conversation.
I think this is going to be a long intro, but it's okay because it's talking about our experience at events. So it's good. It rolls right into it.
So more importantly, I'm going to talk to you guys about caffeine. You guys know that Chris lives on Red Bull. No more. Used to. No more.
Did you have one today?
Yes.
Did you have one yesterday?
Yes, but hear me out. I do not like coffee. I do not like the taste of coffee. I'm not even a big fan of the smell of coffee. Like if I go into like a coffee house, I don't have that thing that people have. It's like me going into like a brewery. I'm like, oh God, get that warm fuzzy feeling. Not in an alcoholic way. I just really like beer, you know? Like for instance, if I went into a distillery, I don't think I like it. When I go to Alan's place, not the biggest fan of the smell sometimes. Too alcohol-y. So yeah, coffee. Don't really like it. couldn't find a sugar-free Red Bull in the morning of the second morning, and I really wanted to be caffeinated because you know what it's like. If you're caffeinated and you're used to having caffeine in your body, you talk to people more, you know, you engage more, stuff like that. Maybe. I do anyway, personally. So we went to a nice little cafe in the morning. Is that what you call them, cafe?
Yeah, so this was we went with Lucy Pastorelli and Lucy's sister Katie, who helped her run the business. And every morning we would get up, we would go to one of these pastisseria. I don't know. Anyway, so a cute little cafe, and they had the most amazing selection of freshly baked goods, croissants, and all sorts of things.
So we're standing in line one morning, and Rebecca said, "What do you want? Tea?" And I was like, "No, get me an espresso."
Yep.
Everyone, even people who didn't know me were like, "What, bro? An espresso?"
That was the first morning.
Second.
No.
Yes.
Because did you not have one?
Cuppy was the first one.
Cuppy.
Yeah. I should go back there right now.
Cuppy was great.
So
the prices, oh my God, right? So just to put it into context, right? For the four of us to have breakfast, we would have a pastry each, and it would be a big pastry. We would have a coffee each. Some people would have espresso, some people would have coffee. We would have a freshly essentially squeezed orange juice. The oranges were there. They cut them up and they put them in this thing and they press it down, right? The orange juice was the most expensive thing there. We would have one of them each, and we would have an extra special pastry for the table. €29. And the most expensive part was the orange juice. So if you took the orange juice away, it was €4 per person. That would be €13 for the four of us to have breakfast.
Which is wild.
Unbelievable. If we go to Starbucks and you got a coffee and a pastry, this is no
You'd be
way.
£13. You, personally?
No, it would be about £9-10. £9-10.
Yeah.
So you're talking for the exact same amount of money, four people can have breakfast.
Wild. And I would personally say now that I'm a coffee
Oh
connoisseur.
yeah, the quality is.
Anyway, I mean, it is the cocaine for the soul. That's all I'm going to say. All day, I was highly caffeinated in a really, really nice way. I really, really did not like the taste of it. It's like tequila. We don't really like tequila, but like the effects of tequila. This is what espresso was like. So I was highly caffeinated all day. So I've come back a coffee connoisseur for just espresso. I'll tell you something.
The stuff here ain't good, is it?
Starbucks is tar water. I don't understand why people like it so much.
Costa's worse.
We went to Costa this morning, and I'll be honest with you, it was far too hot, like lava.
It was so
I don't
hot.
get it.
And that was the other thing. That's what Lucy kept saying. In Italy, the coffee is served to you drinking temperature.
Yeah.
Drinking temperature. So it's so pleasant. You can just drink it straight away without burning your mouth off.
You know, I remember once I went to a conference in Newcastle, lived in Dundee at the time, and I was getting the train down because there was a few of us going, we'd just get the train. I went in and got a tea in the morning. It was a big, tall tea, and I thought, that'll get me going in the morning, whatever. It was probably Newcastle before I could drink it because the goddamn temperature.
You were gonna say that.
It is wild. Thankfully, the actual heat on that train was broken that day, so it did keep my fingertips warm. So that's my coffee journey. So
Back to the event.
Back to the event. The event was great, especially when you're caffeinated.
It was great. We got lots of samples of lots of new exciting products. Couple of things I'm really excited about.
A whole new company.
Potentially.
Just need to think of a name for it.
No. The name is done. The name is done. Done.
Okay.
So good. Anyway, we saw packaging manufacturers, got some inspiration for new packaging, and it was so funny. We were stood talking to one of our packaging manufacturers. And if you bear in mind, there has to be probably the best part of 1,000 stalls, maybe more.
Yeah, and some of the packaging manufacturers have relatively small stands, maybe like, I don't know, what, 4 feet by 8 feet?
4 feet? No, like 2 meters by 2 meters.
Okay.
Like something like that.
Small.
Small, right? Yeah. Teeny tiny. And there's got to be, over 1,000 stands there, over 1,000 exhibitors. Yeah. Easily.
So we're talking about packaging, we're talking about like dropper bottles, jars, spray bottles, everything you can imagine.
Any type of packaging. So we're up in a tiny corner talking to one of ours, and they only have a very small selection of what they offer on display. It's kind of like the best or the nicest stuff that they have on display. And we're talking, and then Chris points over my shoulder and says, "You mean something like this?" And I turn around, and it's a brand new product that we have coming later in the year, completely new line, very, very exciting. And it was our packaging, and it's just been done. That was our very first time getting to see it in real life, because when they make the samples, they'll just send us videos and stuff like that. I mean, we can ask them to send it, but we don't usually. And they were like, "Oh, please take it, please take it, please take it." And I was like, "Oh my God, this is so exciting." So that was really cool.
Yeah. It's great to actually see our things there. This actually happened to us before when we had a clothing store. You guys have heard us speak about this. We were in Paris at one of the wholesalers and we're picking up different things and everything else. And I look up and there's a picture that we put on social media of our model at the time wearing it, our sales assistant wearing the thing that I was actually holding. I was like, oh, wow. That's like, you feel kind of famous almost because it's your stuff that's up there.
Yeah.
And that was up there with things like Boohoo and DLSB
Pretty
and
Little
all
Thing.
the Pretty Little Thing and all the rest of it, all those kind of things up there. So yeah, I think it feels it actually makes me feel really excited about stuff that is coming
We have
this year.
the amount of samples. Like the problem is though that I currently do not have time to get these samples into testing. So I'm probably not going to be able to start testing these samples until like May. We're in March right now. I don't know when you guys are going to hear this, but yeah, so probably going to be May before I can start. I've had like little plays and stuff like that, but proper testing the products. I'm waiting to hear back about ingredients and stuff like that because I don't want to get into the whole testing if the ingredients don't fit with our sort of ingredient profile. Now,
bear in mind, we can probably manipulate and change some of the ingredients, but it's hard when you're working with a brand new supplier to say, I'm sorry, we don't like that.
There's certain chemicals that we don't want in our products full stop, ever. And I'm not talking product chemicals like HEMA or anything like that. So, yeah, I'm excited, nervous, overwhelmed because there are so many projects on the go right now. It's really, really crazy.
If I was to say to you, if we were really lucky and we were to hire an extra 6 members of staff, do you think that would be enough? That isn't, they were really good members of staff.
No, because it's not about the number of people you have. It's about them having the skills and the knowledge to be able to fulfill the duty. It's like we don't have time to train people. So if we don't have time to train them, they're useless. They're extra bodies, but they're useless bodies. They're just shells.
Yeah.
You've got to put stuff in the shell.
It'd be hard for you to give over testing to someone. Like, for instance, I know when there's lots of products coming in right now and you do QC on them, you make sure they're good. But that's taking up your time.
That's taken up, like this week, pretty much every single day. And then next week, we have loads and loads of products coming in. So that's going to be me taking up. And I've only got 10 fingers.
Yeah.
So I've got, hang on, 1, 2, 3,
She's just counting her fingers,
5,
guys.
6, 7, 8 different products on right now.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, Laura already knows this, but to me, the only person I can really trust with product development and quality control, because they know all the information that is in my brain and what I expect of things, is Laura. So who, as you guys will be aware, is our marketing manager. So it's easier to replace her role as a marketing manager and steal her as my protege. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. It's really difficult because there's only one of me. And I'm the one that has to test everything, because then I know it's exactly to my standard and will work as we hope it would.
Okay, so overall, a good week. Have we ordered a coffee machine?
We have ordered a coffee machine.
Did we buy it second hand because we don't like to spend that much money?
We did, because we decided that the type that we require to work for us, because I drink decaf, it has to be a 2-hopper one, which means that they're very expensive and there's a very limited availability. So yes.
And will it go well in the new kitchen?
If we ever get a new house.
We went to...
We're just back from viewing a house.
Yeah, you never know. Might come around quicker than you and I maybe think. Do you know what? I'd actually like to build my own house. Anyway, that's another story for another day.
So yeah, would you go again?
To Bologna?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. But we decided it would be like an every second year thing.
I think you would probably see the same people over and over again.
I think more to the point, my thoughts are that for us as like manufacturer or a brand, we won't have the projects that we've got samples for and the connections that we've made this year into place until next year. So it kind of gives you a year to catch up.
Yeah.
So
I think if it was a lot smaller, then I'd probably do every year. For instance, Las Vegas, I'd probably do that every year.
Yeah, but Miami maybe.
Miami.
Are we holiday on the business?
Do you want to know the annoying thing? It's Ultra Miami this week, and I've been desperate to go to Ultra. So we could have, if Bologna was in Miami this week, I'd have done like a double done.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Chris forgets his age.
Honey, I'm 43.
Yeah.
Sexy
Going to
43.
raves.
It's not a rave, it's Ultra.
Whatever.
Oh.
But what was I going to say there? Yeah, the thing that annoyed me about it is the way it was set up. I wish that it was like halls that were, one hall is for machinery and one hall is for packaging, one hall is for manufacturers, so like business to business,
Yeah.
and then the consumer stuff.
Sometimes you
more.
get mixed in with consumer stuff, so you're looking at stuff and it's direct to consumer, whereas
Yeah.
we're looking for, a manufacturer of
Yeah.
it.
Well, a couple of our competitors were there.
Yeah, that's very true.
I
Personally, I don't see the point in it.
don't see the point of it. I mean, they are bigger brands than us for sure, but they were also the quietest stands
For
that
sure.
we saw. And I think part of that is because the direct to consumer is a different, when I'm saying direct to consumer, I am meaning like to salon or to nail techs, that they are the consumer in this scenario. It's a different demographic because it's a different country. So the big brands there are completely different. So what is the biggest brand in the UK is not the biggest brand in Italy. The biggest brand in Italy, their stand was
Huge.
humongous. And
Do you know, I've
heaving.
never seen a stand at any sort of trade show, and we'll get into them in a second, as big as that. Or as busy as that.
I would say more to the point, as big and busy.
Yeah.
You couldn't get in.
We couldn't physically get in to see the products.
Yeah.
And-
We just went to see them out of interest.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're different. We don't have that brand here.
Huge.
But yeah, crazy. So yeah, I think for British brands, I was like
Pointless.
totally pointless. Like, would I ever exhibit at one of them? No, absolutely not.
Okay, so let's get into today's show. I know I've kind of started it. Rebecca has scribbled down some notes here, but I'm just going to say something, guys. By scribble, I mean hieroglyphics. I am not going to be reading any of them. So I'm going to just go off the top of my own head here, and we're going to talk about certain events. But
Right.
from what I can work out here is you've mapped down 3 types of events.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like you've said networking.
Mm-hmm.
One says porand. That could be brand. And one says Toad Show. TIODE show.
Great show.
Toad Show. Toad Show. My Italy. Excellent. So let's talk about networking events. First of all, what's a networking event and why would you attend one?
I mean, so networking events can be set up. I mean, they can be set up by brands, but from what I tend to see, they tend to be set up more by actual nail techs. Like I know, is it Maisie? Is it called Maisie's Soiree? I think it might be.
Yes.
Yeah, so she's an independent nail tech that set up a sort of networking event, sort of night out type thing, which is a really, really great thing to do. You can have them set up as business type events where it's more like a sort of like a business class, things like that. But that's what we're talking about in terms of networking.
Have we ever been to a networking event?
Have we?
I would say Nail Mailbox. That was an exhibition type thing? Or?
Brand event. That's a brand event really, isn't it?
So is that not
I mean, a brand event and a networking event. To be fair, any event that you go to is going to have a level of networking.
I think that's why most people go to
And
these
that
events.
is why most...
I tell a lie. Most people go for the alcohol.
True.
But-
or freebies.
Yeah, and freebies, yeah. Right, okay. So in terms of networking event, that Maisie's Soiree thing, I think that is great. And I wish more nail techs did that, but that takes some cojones to be able to put both yourself out there and hope that people come along. Because I know, like, if you're a nail tech and you say, for instance, you work by yourself or you work in a studio space and they don't want to come along with you, I think it must be quite frightening to go by yourself.
And that's why people like Maisie set these things up, because a lot of nail techs do work on their own. It gives them a chance to sort of
Mingle, yeah.
almost meet colleagues. I mean, you're not directly working with them, but it's like-minded people. And you know what it's like if you work somewhere with colleagues, you can bitch and moan to them about customers and things like that. We all do it. It's standard workplace banter.
Banter.
But if you work self-employed, you don't really have that opportunity, or that opportunity is taken away from you. So yeah, these networking events are really good for that. And by the way, guys, at the end of this episode, we are going to be details about our own event.
This is why I hate this whole podcast.
The day that we release this, hopefully, will be the day that they go on sale. Not decided when that is yet, but yeah.
We're just pre-recording these things in advance of. So can we talk about our event in terms of networking? Because I know a lot of people have highlighted that they would love to come, but they're nervous.
So the number one, all I can say is, right, if you're thinking about going to an event, whether it's a networking event, a brand event, a trade show, whatever it is, less so a trade show, I guess. But if it's a brand event or a networking event and you're going on your own, do not let that stop you. Don't be scared. Don't let that stop you. Do it. Seek discomfort. Push yourself, because the future you, I'm saying lots of cliches here, but the future you is going to thank the current you who's a little bit uncomfortable for the experience, because you only have things to gain.
And one thing I will say is that there will be other people exactly like you.
Exactly.
in every single way. They'll be a nail tech. They'll be nervous. They'll be wondering why the heck they're putting themselves out there. They'll be thinking to themselves, I really want to go, and what's stopping me? This thing that are stopping me is probably the same thing that's stopping you.
Yeah, I would feel that. Honestly, I would feel the same if I put myself. It's easy for me to say, right, because I'm going with all my buddies a nail order. But if I put myself in the same situation, yes, I would be really nervous, and yes, it would make me think twice about going because I'm going on my own. Although saying that, I went to Lucy's event on my own.
You did.
And yes, I know Lucy, but Lucy was obviously very much involved in
Doing the event.
So I did go to that on my own.
Who did you speak to? Did you speak to anyone else? Because I wasn't there.
Yeah, I spoke to people.
Yeah. Okay. You didn't report back, I don't think. I was too busy telling you about Formula One. Because that was the time I was waiting for Formula One. And you were at Lucy's thing. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't let it stop you. You only have things to gain. And I know for most people it's the biggest barrier if you don't have anybody to go with. And do you know what the other thing I'm going to say is, if you don't have a nail tech friend to go with, whatever you do, do not drag along your partner.
Especially like a husband, a boyfriend, something like that.
Or somebody who is genuinely or generally not interested in the event, because you aren't going to gain that much from it. You're going to be quite insular. You're going to stick to your partner, stick to what you know. You're not going to speak to people, and you're not going to get as involved as you would if you were on your own. Also,
I would say that if you're standing by yourself and somebody else is standing by themselves, you're more likely to just talk to them.
Yeah.
If you're standing next to someone who's with a partner, you're never going to speak to them.
I honestly think it's really detrimental bringing like a partner who isn't in the industry and isn't interested, because they're going to drag you away early. You're going to see that they're not very interested. You've maybe bought a ticket for them. You've wasted money on something that they're not interested in. So don't bother.
I remember just before lockdown, literally like 5 years ago, there was a I was going to try and get into property, and there was a big property meetup, and I found myself, I just couldn't go. It was free. You come along, there was like an open bar for like the first hour and stuff like that. And you normally think, a couple of beers and you'll get talking to people. I just couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. So weird. I remember it.
And you would literally talk to anybody.
I know. Weird.
Like you will start a conversation with anybody.
Yeah. But do you know what made me nervous, I think, is because it was my level 1, whereas I knew these people who were going were probably all level 20s.
Right, okay.
So as much as I was viewing properties like almost every day, like traveling all around the whole west of Scotland to look at different properties, big ones, small ones and everything else.
Cardboard box ones?
I was nervous because I didn't know enough. You know, if they were saying, how are you going to finance this? I'd be like, oh God, well, cash. And they'd probably turn and say, why are you getting cash when you can have a mortgage and you can do this and do that? I'd probably have learned so much from them, but that's what made me nervous. And it's kind of weird.
It is weird coming from you.
Yeah, I just thought I'd share that. So there you go. Everyone, as much as I can speak to anyone.
So you felt uncomfortable. Let's break it down. You felt uncomfortable because they were going to tell you something that you didn't know, but what you would have got out of it is something you didn't know and valuable information. Yeah,
but I hate being the dumbest in the room. That's what it feels like.
But that's arrogance, isn't it? And that's stupid, because you're going to just lose things all the time.
We spoke about this when we did the podcast about education, which was a hard one for us to do because we always think we know better.
100%.
So it's leading on from that. Again, another big problem with that whole situation is every podcast that I was listening to at that point in time was American. So I could tell you about 1021 exchanges and all that sort of stuff and the tax rules in Hawaii, but I couldn't tell you,
It's because Chris likes to live his dream pretending that he's American.
But I couldn't tell you what the mortgage rate was in the UK, you know? So...
Yeah, I'm playing devil's advocate when I'm breaking it down there, because I'm very much the same as Chris. I don't like to be the dumbest in the room. I like to be the most well-versed in the room. So, yes, but do not take a leaf out of our books, because for sure we have probably gone the long way round where we could have gained information from people.
So we started Nail Order in 2020. Yeah. Just during the pandemic. We were sitting at home, nothing to do, pushing out hundreds of press-on nails every single day, throwing them into the post office because you couldn't go in. The guy would be like, what are you sending here? Don't worry, mate, it's not drugs. But so we went through 2020 and 2021, and I remember you getting to the end of 2021 and saying one of the New Year's resolutions for us as Nail Order, which meant Rebecca wanted to do it, so everyone else had to follow suit, is you wanted to put yourself more out there.
Was that not for 2023?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because the events I can think of us going to were in 2023.
Okay. Anyway.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But there was one year we set a New Year's resolution, and that was to go to more events, to push ourselves out there and go to things, because we could recognize that we were missing out on opportunities because we weren't making connections with people.
And I'll tell you something. The thought of that scared me. Not scared me. Yeah, it did scare me, but also I just hate going to these events. Number one, I'll be honest with you, I was a lot chubbier back then. You see, when you don't feel comfortable in your own body, because I'd put on weight during the pandemic, not for the pandemic, during the pandemic.
Before the pandemic, you jumped up.
I got cozy. Cozy. Like a lot of people did. A lot of people call it lockdown weight. I just call it drinking far too much beer during the day. I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. So finding a suit or something to wear puts you off right away. You ladies know what it's like. You know, you maybe go try on a dress and you think to yourself, I didn't have that wee pouch there before, now I do. You don't feel comfortable. You don't feel as confident. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I do definitely think that as you lose weight, you get more confident. You know, you go to the gym and it's like, do you know what it is? It's like when the first day you go to the gym, you're paralysed. You go in, you know how to work a treadmill. You've probably done a treadmill before, but if it's a new gym and everything else, you're like, how do these buttons work? And you think everybody's looking at you. And I think that events are very similar to that. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. But you did push the envelope and you did say we must go do these things.
And we did it.
So that year we did a couple of brand events.
Yep.
We also did, we took Nail Order on tour.
We did trade show and we did a brand ambassador event ourselves.
Not that year, but...
Yeah, the year that we did the trade shows, the brand ambassador event was halfway between.
I stand corrected. Uh-huh. I forgot all about that house. That was pretty
maybe
cool.
that was 2022 then.
Yeah. So let's talk about...
Do you know what? I think this is 2022/2023.
Okay, so let's talk about the trade shows that we went to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did Pro Beauty North, which was in Manchester, and then we did...
Whatever it's called.
The London one, which is in the Excel Centre.
What the hell is it called?
Pro Beauty London?
It's not, but anyway, whatever. Yes.
Yeah. Would you say, just as a high-level overview, that you enjoyed that time?
It was fun.
Would you say it was fun when the hire van that we had broke down because the clutch went and I managed to nurse it back to a depot where we had to transport everything from one van to the next?
And it was blowing a gale and it was really heavy and there was only 4 of us. And
I will say, there was a couple of guys in the depot who could have easily came and helped us. Did they?
No, they did not. It was so stressful. It was really stressful, but it was fun. But doing trade shows as a brand, now people ask us all the time about doing trade shows. I
think Rebecca and I have got a really weird vision of this because we used to do trade shows with a different company, a different outfit.
We've actually done it with a couple of companies.
Yeah. But we did that 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, those kind of types of years. And they were pre-COVID. And they were so busy.
Yeah.
And you would literally be on your feet all day. You would not eat. If you did eat, it was something where you're stuffing your mouth.
You were selling constantly.
Yeah. And you would make, like we made some serious bank in some of those.
Good money.
Yeah.
Now, it's dead. It's just changed so completely. And you even look at a lot of the big brands who don't bother going anymore. And instead brands often do deals over that weekend. I think it's just died. It's just completely died. It's just teeth whitening.
Yeah.
Machines.
Those laser machines, and it's again Italian people
and and the like hair straighteners or whatever. And it's just like there's nothing good there. There's not. Like we did last year Niche Nail Network, which again we are going to be doing this year. And what was great about that is it's specifically for nail techs. So as a nail tech going to a trade show like Pro Beauty North, etc., I'm not going to say don't go. What I'll say is if you're quite local to the area, you're finding yourself with not much to do on the weekend, not even that, okay? You find yourself in the area, sure, go and head out. But don't think that you're going to get a huge amount out of it. You might be able to buy some stock if your brand is there at a bit of a discount. For the most part, there isn't a huge amount going on, unfortunately, anymore. And I know they're working hard on like trying to sort these things out and trying to make them more attractive. But we have spoken to some of the show organisers and said why we are not willing to go. To put it into context, guys, the price per square meter is around...
For Manchester it was 150 and for Manchester it was 179 plus VAT.
When? What now?
Yeah.
The price has gone down.
Oh, has it?
The price has gone down.
It was 179 plus VAT, and London was, I think it was like 229, but we got
No,
for
I think
199.
it's 250. I think it's
Or maybe,
250 plus
okay.
VAT.
So if you, again, just put it into context, if you're taking, say, I don't know, for a nice round number, 10 square meters,
That's tiny.
it
But
is
what we would need.
20. I think we were 16.
We had like 7 by 4, so that's 28 square meters. Say it's the London one, it's 250. So 250 times 28 is
5k.
No, it's £7,000
Include that.
plus VAT.
Plus VAT.
£7,000 plus VAT. That does not include
Lighting.
electricity.
Yeah.
If you want any electricity, you got to pay extra for that. If you want like a special carpet or this, that, any of the extra bits, you got to pay for that. Now on top of that, we have got to actually build a stand.
Yeah.
We've got whatever that looks like, more thousands of pounds. We've got to transport all the goods.
Van hire, etc.
Thousands of pounds.
Even, I mean,
Our days. So we've got to do the day before, the day of, because usually 2 days, the day after to travel back. That's 4 days of our time and all of our staff's time.
And hotels.
Hotels,
Food, because you've got to feed them.
fuel. So even if we're on a 7 by 4 stand, which is a relatively small stand, we have not got any change out of £10,000
Yeah.
before anything.
Yeah, before you sold anything.
Before you've sold anything, not taking into consideration the cost of the product. So for us, and the size of our brands and how quiet they are these days for us, because what you get, especially on
Yes, I was just about to say.
Students, the buses come from with all the colleges, and it's students who only want a freebie.
Yeah, they have no money. If they do
They've
have
got
money,
no money.
they're not going to buy, say, for instance, cuticle oils. They're not
No.
going to buy a pack of 6.
They want a freebie. They want 1 pen, or they're looking for freebies. It's just a complete and utter nightmare. So you can see how, for us to make it even vaguely worthwhile over 2 days, say we would need to take at least 30 grand.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you're taking off your 10 grand, which was your costs, and then you've got to take off all your product costs on top of that, right? So
Yep.
to make it even vaguely worthwhile, 30 grand, we're not doing it.
No.
We're just not doing it.
Do you know, I can remember saying to Elisa and Laura before we went to that week of events, my ideal target was 80 grand for the 2 events.
Was it?
For Manchester and for London.
Oh my God. No, not even a button on that.
And I was shocked. The funny thing is, we did more in Manchester than we did in London.
We did.
And London, again,
lot
cost
bigger.
you more.
Cost more, a lot bigger, a lot busier, but we did a lot more. Well, we did more in Manchester.
And yeah, not even break even. Lost money.
We lost money. On London, for sure, we lost money.
Yeah.
So now going back to Niche Nail Network, which is you're getting a fraction of the visitors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you do the big shows, they'll tell you X amount of 1,000 people are coming, right? When you Niche Nail Network, I think there's maybe 300-400 tickets, 300 tickets, something like that. Not a lot. But what you're getting is quality customers who are industry specific, because at the big shows, you're going to get hair, beauty, nails, lashes, students, all of it. But this show is specifically nail techs. It's ticketed. You got to buy a ticket. So you're really interested in going. You're a genuine buyer. And the price of the stand tends to be a good bit lower as well.
I'd say the stand is good value.
The stand is good value, yeah. I mean, technically, if you look at the amount of visitors, it's much better value on the big shows, but they're not quality customers.
That's the thing.
They're not coming to spend money.
It's like if you had a mailing list, like an email list, and you had 50,000 people on it, but only 10,000 people on that mailing list are your type of customer. You're just wasting money throwing it out to other people.
Yep.
And that's kind of what it feels like. For instance, if you go to, say, London or Manchester and you're interested in the hair, but you walk by us and we've got cuticle oils, you come over and you start feeling them, touching them and everything else. So you're going to get me, Rebecca, Jennifer, Laura, somebody come and speak to you, talk to you about the brand and everything else, let you try them, maybe even give you a free sample, and you just walk off and you're never going to buy them.
Yep.
What's the point? It's a waste of time.
So in terms of trade shows, if you're a nail tech listening to this and you're thinking about going to trade shows this year, I would highly recommend that trade show that you spend your time and your money going to be Niche Nail Network, because it is specifically nail related and you're not going to have as many stands. Yeah, but you're going to have way more stands that are geared towards you than if you go to one of the other shows. Again, one of the other shows, if it's local to you, you can often pick up free tickets for these things as well.
I just remembered, we did Glasgow last year because we had free tickets.
Oh my God, it was so bad.
We were done in 35 minutes.
If that, I was so shocked.
How small it was.
How small it was.
And
it
the thing
was
is,
probably the same size as Niche Nail Network.
we have done Glasgow before. We've exhibited at Glasgow before.
No, it was Edinburgh. and it moved to Glasgow.
But it was twice, 3 times the size.
It was shocking. It was shocking. If you live in Glasgow, don't bother going.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not true. You should always bother going if it's free, right? And local. But it was shockingly awful. The only nail brand that was there, major nail brand, Glossify? Gelish?
Maybe.
Was Gelish there? That's about it. Honestly. Big.
Lascente.
Was Glitterbells there?
Oh, Glitterbells had a education bit.
So they did.
Was Lascente there?
No.
No.
I think it was Glitterbells, Glossify, and maybe Gelish. Honestly, completely pointless for us to go.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, there was nothing there. It was. I was really shocked how bad it was. So yeah, if you're going to spend any time like aiming to go to something that is out of your way, I would definitely recommend Niche Nail Network. We're going to be there.
We are.
Lisa Pastrelli is going to be there. They've started announcing different people, so go and check them out on Instagram.
It's funny, I was on the Facebook last night and I seen this advert from Niche Nail Network. My beautiful wife was in the advert, and then this handsome dude with like, excellent skin fade and muscles was in the background. It was me, honey. It was me.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I was surprised when we went last year. The setup was excellent. It was the day before, which is always good.
So good.
It was
not the night before, the full day.
Yeah, it was just one day, which is great for us when you're on your feet all day and you're having to speak to people. Sometimes it can get, it gets a lot. It
does get a lot.
And for me, if I'm speaking to someone and there's like 3 people behind, I try and speak as loud as possible to try and grab them in and get as much people, grab their attention and give them as much information as possible. I would say for us, pound for pound, definitely worth it.
It was good. And you know what? We got to see a lot of actual customers and speak to actual customers.
Which is great.
So even if it wasn't like super financially beneficial, it's beneficial in other ways, making those connections with people. And
I'm going to say something more importantly, I think it's really good to make connections with other brands who are your competitors.
Yeah, like you met, you had a good conversation with the guys from Lascente.
Yep. And they came over and they were just asking about the bottles. Like the guy, I can't remember his name. God, sorry. But he's like, oh, your bottles are printed. And I was like, yeah, because we had not long launched our gel polish,
Yeah.
And
it was literally just a few months.
Yeah, and to do printed bottles, like that takes a lot of commitment, and that's what he said. And I thought that was really, really nice of him, So yeah, we actually get a pretty good relationship with most people in the industry, And I think when you go to those events, it solidifies it a little bit because you come together. If somebody's needing a bit of hand, some help to put some lights up or something, you kind of help out, you know. So yeah, I definitely would recommend Niche Nail Network.
For sure. So the other type of events you've got are brand events. Now, I think the brand events come in a couple of different types. One that is invite only and one that is ticketed.
Is that not the same thing? We invite you to buy a ticket?
No. Invite only tends to be a free event, often done for launches and stuff like that, rather than like a big event like sort of what we tend to do. Okay. But for sure, if it's a brand that you use, an experience not worth missing, for sure. Yes,
because you're going to have not only again, if you go by yourself, you know us. We might not necessarily know you, but you know us. You can come talk to us, and quite often people do. And thankfully, we have like name badges, which I think are great. I'm terrible at reading people's name badges, but
to write this down.
Well, I'm thinking we went to a supplier and we went to see one of our suppliers in Italy when we were there, and I seen Rebecca like looking at the name badge. Oh, hi, blah blah blah, and it makes so much sense,
It really does.
So yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so also introduce yourself with your social media handle, because more often than not, we'll know you by your social media handle.
I would say I'm Chris from Nail Order.
Yeah.
Not just I'm Chris, and people expecting to know you.
Yeah.
So yeah, brand events. So you touched on a couple of different things. If they're doing like a big launch, how big is the launch for it? Because we've never done that.
No, we don't do that.
We did one for our trade shop, which was a bit of a launch.
That was more just like inviting people to us to see the shop and stuff like that. I don't know, in terms of product launches, maybe it's worthwhile. It's not something that we've ever done. I don't know. I don't know if it's.
I think we need to be like, for us, we need to be like a whole new line, something completely different. Not the new company. We'll do a big launch for that.
Oh, we're not doing a whole new company, but anyway, yeah, sure.
Okay, whatever. We'll see.
But yeah, if it's like a launch thing, as I said, it tends to be invite only. So it's not really up to you whether you go or not. Well, it is, in that you've got to make the decision, but you've got to be invited to go. But if you're invited to go to something, go, absolutely go if you can, if it works with your schedule, absolutely go. But in terms of a ticketed event, again, go. If it's the brand that you use, it's like-minded people using the same products and you can share your experiences and there's going to be so much to gain.
How, in terms of tickets, how much are they normally? Is there like a price
I
range?
don't think there is like a normal thing. Like it very, very much varies.
Does it depend on what the content is? If it's like day and night, or if it's like educational, or you're getting something free with it, or freebies, goodie bags, all that
I
sort
mean,
of
I
stuff.
think like any brand event you go to, from what I've seen, obviously I can't speak for everybody, the things that I've seen advertised, whatever the ticket costs you, you tend to get something decent back for it as well. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you got to pay to go, but you're getting a good goodie bag or you're getting a voucher or something like that that'll considerably take money off of what you've paid to go.
Got to pay.
You got to pay to eat.
I'll tell you a quick story real quick. Rebecca, Laura and I were in America and we were leaving. Laura was going back home to the UK. We were going someplace else and we were all on Atlanta and we all had business class tickets. But because your business class doesn't necessarily mean you can get into the lounge, whereas it does in the UK.
In the UK and anywhere else in the whole world, it does mean that.
Thankfully, I have a really nice credit card that gets me into the lounge and gets me into pretty much any lounge in the world, but not always with friends. So I go to the ticket machine and I swipe my credit card and it lets me in and everything else. But Laura and Rebecca are behind and they couldn't get in because of their tickets. And the girl basically just turned and said, well, honey, gotta pay to eat.
The woman was so rude. I wish in another world I had made a complaint about her because she was so rude.
Well, you used to have to, you'd be like, anywhere else in the world, if I've got a first class ticket.
I didn't have that attitude, but I did, yeah, I was like, we're first class or whatever.
So that is just something to always remember. You gotta pay to eat.
You gotta pay to eat.
There you go.
But yeah, they tend to be really worthwhile. Brand events often involve workshops or speakers and things like that, experiences where you're gonna get something out of it, you know. So yeah, I would highly recommend them.
Okay, so let's just do it. Let's just bite the bullet.
Yeah. So
it's going to be in Sweden.
Imagine. Do you know what? Before I go into the event, I'm going to go and talk about this week's sponsor because this week's sponsor is going to have a stall at our event.
A stall, you see?
A stall. So this week's sponsor is the Nail Story Co. And the Nail Story Co. offer a range of products that are created by a nail tech for nail techs. So they are quality paper card stock products, things such as consultation forms, really, really in-depth, comprehensive consultation forms, and a monthly planner as well. You can also buy the cute little nail art cards that we sell on our website from them as well. What's great about the monthly planner is it's undated, so you can start it at any point in the year, which is fantastic. So Sophie and her company, they will be at our event, which is going to be on the 28th of September. But until then, you can shop with them on their website. And you can use code Sunday10 for 10% off.
Excellent. And all the details will be scrolling across your screen, hopefully, and they will be in the show notes if you're listening in audio format. Scroll down there and click through and get that discount.
So, as we said, the event is going to be on the 28th of September, which is a Sunday.
Go book the hotel right now.
Book it right now. I would highly, highly recommend booking Premier Inn New Street in Birmingham.
Yeah, Premier it's Birmingham, not Sweden.
Not Sweden. Premier Inn New Street in Birmingham. Specifically that one because that is going to be approximately 10 steps from the nighttime venue. So nice and easy. And you can walk to the daytime venue from there as well. So we did our event last year in the exact same place for the daytime and the nighttime. And with the amount of things that we are launching right now, genuinely, I don't have the mental capacity to think of something bigger and better. We came straight out the gates with our first general ticketed event. So freaking strong that we kind of did ourselves a disservice because there's very little to go from there. I have a plan for a bigger and better event, but it's massive. It's humongous.
And it'll take a lot of planning. And
it'll take like at least a year.
Don't have not just the mental capacity, but just the capacity of people and bodies to plan that type of thing.
We need literally somebody kind of
a dedicated person for that.
So we are going to kind of do things the same as last year. It's not going to be the same speakers. It's not the same setup. There are differences. But we got so much praise on our venue and we got so much praise on everything to do with the event.
And anything that we didn't like, we're going to change.
Yeah, absolutely. So 20th of September, a Sunday. The tickets,
that's going to be nice. That's going to be the end of the summer, right?
Yeah, so it should be, it won't be January anyway.
Yeah.
The tickets, we don't know the price yet. as we record this. But
150 to 200.
no, they'll probably be around the same as last year. So last year was £90 and that covered the day and the night.
Bargain.
The nighttime is going to have an open bar until a certain time, quite late. Last year we had drinks vouchers.
Yes.
This year I'm just going to do open bar.
Right. A lot of this she's going to be announcing to you guys and me. So I'm going to sit back and smile.
So the daytime part of the event, as we said, it's in Birmingham and it's going to be at Faisley Studios, which is where we had it last year, which was stunning.
Why Birmingham?
Because it's really the centre of the country.
Surprisingly.
Not only is it the centre of the country, it is easy for everybody just about in the UK to get to within about 2 hours.
You can get flights from Aberdeen, Inverness, Aberdeen, Edinburgh and Glasgow.
With EasyJet straight to Birmingham. It's so easy. And everywhere else you can drive there within about 2 hours.
Yeah. If you are thinking about flying down from Glasgow or Edinburgh, go book those flights just now and it will be the nail order plane.
So yeah, it's just so easily accessible. It's nowhere near us. So if it's nowhere near you, then we're all in the same boat. Remember, we're coming from Scotland, guys, and Chris and I have to drive it. So yeah, daytime is Faisley Studios. Nighttime is Tonight Josephine. You're going to be fed and watered all day and all night.
So let's talk about Faisley Studios real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's an old church, right?
It is.
Fits very well with the nail order theme.
It does, and it's got different rooms. So our event, what I didn't like about previous industry events that I'd been to is where you're sort of chaperoned into one area and expected to sit and listen. Everybody has to be in one area at one time, and there's a very strict routine to follow. My brain, it just doesn't work very well, and we wanted to do an event that would really work and different type of people felt comfortable with. So if you want to go to a talk, great. If you want to sit and listen to all the talks, fantastic. If you don't, if you want to come and go, you want to go and do a bit of shopping, you want to go and do a bit of networking, that's absolutely fine as well. So you're not forced to do anything at any one time, so you don't lose interest. So we have different areas. We have our room set up for our talks. We're going to have talks from different people. Will I announce that now? No, I won't. We'll leave something for. I'll probably do a live on the night that we're doing this to launch it.
An Instagram live type thing.
Yeah.
I thought we were in a live podcast.
No, Instagram live. But I think we are actually going to do a live podcast at the event.
Oh, in fact, we can say that. So I think we're going to set up so we can do a live podcast from the event. It's probably going to be the last thing at night, maybe?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, so you guys, if you enjoy the Nail on Sunday podcast, you can actually be a part of it.
We're going to have a guest for the first part of it.
Are we?
We are.
Do I know this guest?
Yes.
Okay.
But
do they have a podcast?
No.
Okay.
But yes, so we are going to have different speakers, talks, different to the last time, obviously trying to keep things fresh. We're going to have different people selling stuff, different stalls and stuff like that as well.
So we call that Sunday Market?
Yes.
So explain that to us real quick. If you've never been to an event, you've never seen it,
It's kind of like a trade show, but mini. So it's nail-related stands. So it might not be specific nail products, but it might be like nail adjacent.
So for instance, Sophie's nail order story.
Nail
story
code. Yes.
If you wanted to get some of those things, you can purchase them there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who else do we have? Of course, Lucy Pastorelli's going to be there.
Can't get rid of her even if you tried.
We're going to have our world of jewellery from Gemma Elizabeth Links, which was so popular last year. Oh my God.
Can she bring more staff?
She's going to have to because, oh my God, she was so popular.
Yeah.
We have got all sorts of people coming. We've got our tarot card reader again.
Again, more people needed for that.
Yeah, oh my God, she was queued out. So there's all sorts of things for you to do all day.
Yeah, it's going to be fun things. So for instance, a talk might not be for you, but you can listen to one for maybe a half hour and then go do more fun stuff that's more fun for you.
Exactly. We're going to have food available all day, and we are launching
at least one new product.
Not a product.
A product line.
There, but probably 2. Maybe
4.
I think we have 2 very exciting product lines launching at the event. So yes, very, very exciting. If you want to be the first people to get your hands on stuff, it's going to be the place to be.
And we're going to have our nail order stall.
We'll have our nail. So last year we had our nail order room. I think we're doing this a little bit differently just in terms of the setup this year and who's in what room. Sorry.
I must say, guys, it's Baltic in here today.
It really is. I've got a blanket on here. But yeah, we're going to have our nail order room or whatever it is, which will have your nail order store and then photo opportunities and all types of stuff like that as well.
will there be an opportunity to try these new product lines?
I don't.
Sit down desks or no?
I want to, but maybe. I mean, we've not got all the small details finalized yet.
Okay.
But it's going to be very, very exciting. So the way that we did things last year was you buy a ticket. We did not allow +1s during the day. I mean,
To force your hand.
of course, if you want to buy a full price ticket for your mum or your partner, I mean, that's up to you, but it's a waste of experience and it's a waste of a seat because it is limited number of tickets. So I would highly recommend against that. We're going to try and set up a special group chat and a special meet and greet thing for singles.
Wow.
And I believe Carmen is going to be in charge of it.
Oh, God. I'm sorry, guys, in advance. Carmen, I love you, but Jesus Christ.
So yeah, we're going to try and set something up in advance for that. And then at the nighttime, I'm not sure exactly what we're doing, but last year we did offer a +1 nighttime ticket.
I get the nighttime thinking, but a little bit, because again, it's a nighttime
Yeah.
drinking and stuff like that. I think it's actually better to come by yourself at nighttime, but if you want to bring a +1, please make sure they do not dance with platters of food or have their penis out. Neither of them, thankfully, were me.
And then at the nighttime, we're at Tonight Josephine, which is just such a nail order vibe place. It's very, very cool. As I said, we're going to have an open bar until a certain time. Again, details still to come. We're going to have food. We will have our photo booth. We will have entertainment. I'm not going to announce who that is, but we've got 2 entertainments.
Entertainers, maybe?
Entertainers. So yeah, super, super exciting. And we hope as many of you come as possible. We had a great turnout last time, but I think this time is going to be...
Sellout.
This time is going to be a sellout.
I would highly recommend, if you see this being launched on this day where this podcast comes out, grab a ticket. Even if it's just one for yourself, and then you can maybe add a +1 later or something.
But like Chris said, book your hotel now. Premier Inn, New Street, Birmingham. And here's the thing, right? Even if the tickets sell out and somehow you didn't manage to get one, but you booked your hotel room, get you. As long as you've proved to us that you booked the hotel room.
Also, I think if it's a Premier Inn, then you can book it with no deposit.
That's true.
So there you go. Just get the hotel
So
room.
recommend it. Train
And your
station,
flights.
and that's at the train station because that's New Street. So
And that's another thing I was going to say. Birmingham's pretty cool. It's just this cool place.
great.
That whole
Food,
Faisley
shopping,
area and stuff
everything.
is very cool. There's
Yeah.
lots of like nice little
Vintage
niche.
stores.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's really cool.
I would highly recommend just coming for the
I think it's
event.
got the biggest pre-mark in the UK.
So I've heard. Didn't have time to
So
go see it.
make a weekend of it. Birmingham's fantastic. Culture, food, shopping,
Yeah.
amazing.
So I would highly recommend, if you do want to come to a brand event and you're listening to this, you probably know us. So come along. If Carmen is your Tinder master.
I'm just imagining her like standing with like a big
Yeah, an umbrella. An umbrella that says, Paul, that's singles. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, you guys know us, you know? We don't necessarily know all of you guys, but as soon as you start talking to us, then...
We should try and organize a singles breakfast.
Coffee, espresso. I'll do it. I'll bring my coffee machine. Just one thing I want to highlight, the ticket price. So let's just call it, say, about £100-ish.
So last year it was £90. It's going to be around the same. We've not decided on it.
You gave away goodie bags, didn't you?
We did, and the goodie bags were worth 60 quid, I think.
Did it have a voucher?
They had a voucher in them as well. Yeah.
So is that 60 plus a voucher? Or including the
I
voucher?
think it was including the voucher.
I thought that. But those bags, people were, as soon as the event was done, they were like, can we buy more?
Yeah.
So it's
Our
a nice
goodie
little
bags,
goodie bag.
they're really, really good. Yeah, so you're going to get like £60 worth of at least goodies. And
Plus your
voucher.
food during the day.
Yeah.
Now, if
And
you're in a
drink.
different place, you know, tea and coffee during the day is probably not going to be Chris's espresso, but we'll see. There was free Iron Brew.
Our Scottish station.
Could potentially sponsor us. Ignore our messages.
Yeah, bars, if you're listening, or anybody who works for bars, please hook us up.
And then at night time, if you've got a free or an open bar for, say, maybe until 9, so 7 till 9, couple hours, maybe till 10, maybe even 11. I don't know.
And
I mean,
entertainment. It's honestly great value for money. I know it can seem like a lot on the face of it, but we are not making any money out of this. We're just trying to create an excellent experience. We are definitely still out of pocket for sure, but it's a really, really great experience. And it is honestly such good value for money when you think about all the food and drink that you're getting.
one thing I wanted to touch on is money, because I do like to be honest with you guys at every stretch. London was no good to us in terms of money. It didn't give us that much exposure. The amount of money we're spending on this event gives us exposure. It gives us a way to thank you guys, a way to give back, a way to meet and greet you guys. a way for us to maybe even explain something to you guys. You know, maybe you're like, I love Duragel, but I don't like the -4. Oh, right, okay. And we can have a conversation about it during the day. At night time, it's not going to be the same conversation because I'm going to be drunk and I'll be like, oh, what do you mean it's great? Blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, I think it's great just to give back to you guys. And I think this is why we really want to do it.
Honestly, guys, the event last year was unbelievable. It was so, so good. And I know that's me saying it, but honestly, I was so impressed at how it turned out. It was phenomenal.
I just remember.
Oh, free embroidery as well.
Yeah, I just remember the next day, like you and I driving home. I know we've touched this in the pod before, but driving home, the amount of people who just messaged to say that was amazing, and people who missed out or didn't see the proof of concept, didn't attend.
I'm so gutted. Are you doing another one? Yeah. Everybody said that straight afterwards. It's like, well, you didn't have the faith in us to come in the first place. But I very much hope we can see all of you guys.
Yes.
This year.
I have one thought. Imagine it sells out in day one, the tickets. Mm-hmm. Would you move from Paisley to the other place, the bigger place, to open up more space? The thing is that tonight, Josephine, that can hold 500 people.
350.
Is it? Oh, right, okay.
375.
So we can't really...
Imagine that many people in there. You'd be shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want more than another 50?
100 maybe?
I don't know. I think it'll be okay.
Okay.
I think it's good to keep it
intimate.
Exclusive.
Yeah. Exclusive, actually. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. VIP. If you're attending, you are a VIP. Whether you bought the ticket or not. So yes, that is going to be your event. So one thing I will say is I am already bored and sick of hearing about it. But
we've actually not done anything about it for the last 2 weeks because we've got so much going on. But next week it has to resume. I will say that everybody who is putting their 2 cents into this, they're doing it to make it excellent for you guys. Yeah, every little detail is really, really thought of. Your experience is very much thought of for them.
Yeah. And it is silly details like making sure that we've paid for the photo booth rather than you guys having to pay £2 for a photo, something like that.
All of those type of tiny little things, you know. We have free embroidery and merch and stuff. So you buy an apron, you can get your name or whatever embroidered on it. Just like little things and for free, really just to think about how you can enjoy the day.
If you've seen a TikTok recently where Chris has walked into the warehouse and found something, you might know that there's going to be some free sweets. I'm not going to say anything else.
You're ruining it because I'm really excited about that.
I'm not going to say anything else.
I wanted roll ice cream, guys, but I'm just going to tell you the roll ice cream was going to be over £2,000 and I thought that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I'm making my own way.
Okay.
And I'm going to really enjoy it as well.
All right. Honey, is there anything you want to touch on before we get out of here? And before I go out and do some jumping jacks to heat this place up?
I know, it's really cold.
The thing is, we've not been in the pod deal for the last week, so there's not been any heat on in here, and our little fan heater's broken because we can't afford it because we're spending too much money on this event.
I know, but it'll be worth it. No, I think that is us.
Okay. In terms of the nighttime entertainment, I know one is going to be fun. I don't know what the second one is. Can you give me a hint so I can work it out? Is it going to be something similar? Oh, telepathy. That works. Oh, really? Okay. I didn't expect that, but there you go.
What about this? Wait a minute. This is not very good for podcasts.
What the heck is she? Right. For anybody who was lucky enough to not witness that visually, she put a pen into her sleeve and then pulled it back out again.
Yep. That's it.
Okay.
All you get.
Pen, cufflink pens. She's going to be giving away cufflinks. Excellent. Honey, do you want to get us the heck out of here?
Yes, as always, guys, if you enjoy that, please give us a thumbs up. Please let us know in the comments what you would like us to talk about next. And if you're coming to our event as well, and please subscribe to be notified when we release our next episode.
On Sunday, all the tea getting spilled. Nail text, talking game, keeping it real, y'all gon' feel. From the signs to the drama, every secret they reveal. Stay sharp, stay tuned, man, you know it's the deal.